Hey friends, Bale here. I thought I would bring you guys along and show you inside my studio. It is finally clean, and so I thought I'd bring you in and give you a little tour of all the machines that I've got in here and show you how I organize and kind of keep all the chaos a little bit calm. So come along with me and I'll show you what's in here. Oh shit. Hey laser friends, I'm Bale with Just One More Project, and I am here in my studio, which I thought I would give you guys a fun tour of all the machines that I have in this room, along with all the other stuff that's in this room. There is quite a lot of stuff to go over and show you in here, so come along with me and I'll show you what's in here. Okay, this is my wall of the year. And it just gives me such a good visual of when the big things are happening. Laser Craft Fest, for example, it kind of gives me a runway of what to do, and my family loves to see this because they come in and they say, August, Mommy, you're pretty free. And I'm like, well, yes, I am. Okay, so this is my pink couch, which I refuse to get rid of. I can definitely admit that I do not have room for this thing in this room, but would you ever get rid of this couch? I probably will not. So this stays no matter how many new pieces of equipment I have in here. So right over here, this is where all the magic happens. I currently have two monitors. I have an Apple iMac. It had to be pink. I also have my MacBook and then an additional display, so I can kind of have a whole seamless workspace over here. I absolutely love this chair. It is so much fun. It's really dirty, but you know, it's so much fun because I like to sit and crisscross and, you know, do all the things. So here's where all the stuff happens. This cabinet right here, I have all kinds of stuff in here, but I'll give you guys a quick peek. And so the way I organize all of the craft stuff is in these little bins. And these are actually photo boxes from Michaels, and I kind of keep all the things organized in the boxes. So like, for example, this one is all the bedazzling stuff. There's one with like glitter, there's one with like sewing stuff, there's one with beads, there's one with paint, there's one with, I don't even know, jewelry making. Like, I try to keep them all organized. One day, when I have the time, I will label them all. In here, I have all of the printers. Got my Cricut in here, which I haven't taken out in quite some time. I've got my thermal printer in there, my photo printer, and then this is my sublimation printer. And then over here is the fun stuff. Over here is the stuff that continues to change out with kind of what I'm doing. So I have my hat press, my heat press, and then I have my little Xtool F1, which I move around whenever I am using it. I love this because you can just kind of move it around, and I'll show you kind of the setup of how I vent all these machines out the window. This right here is my Omtech MOPA fiber laser, and I pretty much don't move this thing. It's quite heavy, and so I keep it right there, but I love it because the hose can just go right out that window, and so I just sort of let it stay there. Here is where I try to keep all of my material organized. This is an IKEA kind of cube shelf. And this has literally everything, from cardboard to acrylic to veneer to wood to MDF, scraps, all kinds of stuff. So I try to keep it all in one spot. Probably doesn't always end up that way, but that's the way it goes. And then here is my wall of windows. So my wall of windows is actually a really funny story. The room that I'm in has gone through so many transitions in my home. It used to be my husband's office, then it used to be a gym. It was actually made to be a media room, and if you know anything about media rooms, there are no windows in here. So when I decided to take over this room, because I had so many lasers, I knew that I needed windows. So we actually had this entire wall kind of knocked out and put a bunch of windows in here, and it is so awesome. I love it, love it, love it, because I can see our view out here, and it is like my favorite thing ever. And so I'm so glad we've been in this home about 8 years now, and I can't believe it took us so long to put windows in this room. The wall of windows actually serves a real purpose here, because it is where I vent all of my machines. And so let me show you how I do that. So I like to keep all my machines that require venting close to the windows so that I can kind of alternate depending on what I'm using. So this machine, for example, right here requires a vent. The way that I have it set up is by using a window wall vent unit. And so anytime I am using a laser, I will open the window, plop that in the window, and it's ready to go to vent out the window. Here is what it actually looks like. So here is one of the wall units in the window while it is in use. And so this goes to my Glowforge, and then I've got my Thunderbolt, and these are actually vented together. So I have the bolt vented. I have the hose from the bolt goes to the Glowforge, and then both of them go out the window. So depending on which one is in use, the air is getting kind of pushed out in one way, which works pretty well for me. I do have a little air purifier over there, so sometimes it does get a little bit funky in here when I am cutting a lot of stuff, but for the most part, it is pretty good. So here is, like I said, the Glowforge, Thunderbolt, and then here's like all the stuff. So lots and lots of stuff. Of course, I have an entire bin of scraps right underneath here. If you haven't seen this scrap bin before, I absolutely love this thing. It is a nightstand from IKEA, but I have it that way instead of up because you can literally fit these sheets perfectly inside the slots. And so I love it. I have it organized with acrylic scraps, big scraps, wood scraps, whatever. And then over here is the big table of fun. This is where the majority of the stuff happens. So anything that you see me recording, anything that requires assembly or anything, usually gets done on this table. I have a ton of lighting and fun stuff set up here. It took me forever to learn how to do this stuff. So you can see behind me, I've got the big studio light up here. I've got an overhead camera up there. So anything that I'm doing on the table here, you can get another view that way. Usually when I am doing live streams or anything, Laser Craft Fest, any other kinds of live streams that we do, I can usually see you guys there. I will have my laptop kind of plopped up here, and the camera is usually right there. And then as far as the storage underneath here, I hide everything under this table. And so this is the part you guys don't see, and it is a hot mess in there. I like to keep, all the things in here. I use these little bins from Target to organize. This is all jewelry stuff. There's so much in here. One day, it'll all be labeled and pretty, but I can't tell you how many times I've opened every single drawer just to find the one thing that I want. Okay, friends, there you have it. That is a behind the scenes look into my little world here at Just One More Project. Okay, bye, friends.